Microsoft, this week, the company held its Biz Apps Summit. This is an annual event for the company's, SaaS, prem-based applications. You probably know or have heard of Dynamics. Microsoft Dynamics used to be Great Plains, or Dynamics 365 now, which is the cloud-based offering, which is the one that I think is seeing the fastest growth rates in the 40s of percentiles. And there was a lot of news. It was a day and a half. We had an analyst day, a great wine tasting, and then we had the event itself. A mix of pre-recorded and real-time content and interaction. But this was a moment to get with the senior executives, Alyssa Taylor, James Phillips, I believe is the name, president of the business. Sorry, I just want to make sure I get names right. But and we heard from them. And there was two things I took out of it, Pat. One is always great with applications, SaaS, CRM, to hear customer stories. And I think the company did a really nice job of talking through the lens of customers, how they're applying these technologies, and why. And this is, in my eyes, why the business is growing. The second thing was some new product solution offerings were rolled out. I kind of leaned into one in particular, and that was around the customer insights business, or the CDP. For those unfamiliar, CDP, Customer Data Platform, this is the next big frontier for many SaaS companies, whether it's Salesforce, Customer 365 Truth, whether it's Adobe Experience Platform. All these companies are moving up the stack to CDP. CDP is really all about tying first-party and third-party data, being able to truly understand the full 360-degree customer journey, being able to attach, to get that right offer in the right channel at the right time. A big part of that is going to be tying advertising engines to the customer first-party data insights. And so Microsoft did that at their event. They basically announced a more sophisticated integration between Dynamics 365 Customer Insights and Microsoft's advertising platform. But the important thing too, by the way, is Microsoft's ad platform, which is a growing part of the business, because every part of Microsoft is growing, by the way, is that this is being built to not only unify first-party data for advertisers, but it's also being built to work with other third-party advertising systems. So think to yourself things like Google Ads, Marketo, MailChimp, SendGrid, Autopilot. These are all the applications you'll be able to integrate with. But really what it comes down to is, can you access the right data? Can you manage your segments? And can you scale your ads across multiple platforms? And so the reason for this is we want to be able to reach those customers in that right channel, and we want to do it at scale. Companies have become pretty good at segmenting their business. And there's one other big caveat here, Pat, that really everybody that's listening, that's interested in this part of the business, needs to pay attention to. And that caveat is that effectively, with the ID for Apple and the changes being made to third party to make it harder and harder for companies that have long relied on inexpensive access to people's data without their permission, that's going away. What does that mean? It means every company needs to get more first-party data. They need to build systems that get customers to opt in. So the way you get customers to opt in is by putting the right opportunity to engage them in that right channel where they are opted in, whether that's a Facebook or a Google platform. Get them to come in and be part of your first-party ecosystem so you can eventually target them with the right ads. I feel like Microsoft made a good move here. They're upping the stakes. And again, it's a super competitive space. You heard me mention it. Salesforce, Adobe, SAP, Oracle, all competing. Treasure Data, Segment, and Twilio. But this is a space where I believe Microsoft is going to be effective, especially with up-leveling the business with their existing D365 customers.
Brother, you talked so much that you lost your voice. And I think that's because we're out of time here. Two things that I noticed. It was nice to see Power BI add this goals function, which is very key, from just looking at the pretty pictures and charts to know kind of exactly where you are to that. Some pretty sophisticated types of capabilities there. And I thought the big story for me was Microsoft's ability to tell customer stories and tell them very, very well. I think this is important. It's a sizable business, but I think when you're trying to convince people to leave one company and move to the other, you need a lot of these, hey, come in, the water feels great. types of things. And finally, Microsoft had the best communication on connecting the front office and the back office, and I would dare say that I've ever seen. Literally overlapping worlds coming across and showing the applications and talking about the magic that people can do that. And there's really only 3 companies, at least, that I'm tracking right now that can do that: Microsoft, Oracle, and Zoho. I know Salesforce is going to try to get there, and SAP is trying to get there, but those are the 3 companies that are there already, and that seems to be the trend. Full service providers, front end and back end.
Well, just like the cloud stack, you've got the SaaS stack, and that is taking care of all the functions. That's your back office, that's your human resources, that's your sales, that's your marketing.